Hello everyone, my name is Margot Whitney and welcome to my webinar on the tarot. Why tarot? Over the centuries, the tarot has always held a certain fascination for those interested in the spiritual mysteries and the great religions of the ancient past. The tarot is like a bridge from those ancient times to the present. That bridge is constructed in the form of a storybook, and you are the central character. This webinar is an introduction to the tarot and is the first in a series of webinars that I will be giving on the tarot. So let's move along. The cards. The tarot cards are a mystery to be explored. They are a romance to be revealed. As a deck of cards, the tarot has been used for many years for fortune telling. In casinos and homes across the world, the cards are used for poker and games of chance. In centuries past, the tarot was used as a book of initiation by mystics. More recently, it's also been called the hero's journey. So let's check that out. What is the hero's journey? Why is the hero sometimes called a dragon slayer? In the beginning, the hero realizes that he has a problem. Possibly a flame-breathing dragon has shown up, or some other just as dramatic problem that won't go away. He's cornered. What to do? He's alone, and he's the only one who can get himself out of this. What does he have to do? What is his first obstacle? He needs to overcome his fear. First, he's frozen with fear. What is he afraid of? The unknown? What is a dragon anyway? But his problem must be solved, so off he goes, brandishing his sword. The hero will eventually go through many changes on his adventure, some serious enough that he will experience feelings of life and death. But in the final stage, he will overcome all of his trials and tribulations and will have made the necessary changes to open his heart and become master of his life. He's transformed. He's slain the dragon. He's the hero. The hero's journey is a popular theme in movies. It was also very popular in the great religious stories of the past. The Bible, the Book of Thoth, the Bhagavad Gita, the Quran, all contain elements of the hero's journey. They contain, in one way or another, demonstrations of the initiations that each of us must go through before facing the reality of our true inner nature and our true connection with creation. The tarot cards are called keys. Keys unlock doors. In our case, the doors that are closed are in our heads, in our minds. But first, we need to recognize that there are locked doors up there between our ears, and then how to find keys that fit. We'll need to learn how to turn the keys to open those doors and enter another world that lies within us. This is our hero's journey. And be wary of the dragon. There are 78 cards in the full deck of the tarot. At this time, we're only interested in 22 of them. These 22 are called the major arcana. Arcana means secrets or mysteries. These cards relate to the 22 letters of the Hebrew alphabet. They're the picture cards of the deck of 78 cards. The remaining cards are called the minor arcana, the minor mysteries. Universally, we use Latin and Greek for the sciences. In a similar manner, the Hebrew language was chosen for the cards because of its versatility. Each Hebrew letter is also a number and a word or concept. This allowed for a great deal of information to be hidden on these picture cards. Only those who understood the symbols, the letters, and the colors would understand how to read the cards. A picture is worth 1,000 words. What is being said on these cards is fundamentally identical with the wisdom taught in the ancient secret schools of India, Tibet, and China. The creators of the tarot deck decided to hide their secret information in plain sight. This has proven to be very successful. The cards are used to tell fortunes and play games. Because of this, the cards easily traveled around the world, their true meaning hidden, unknown to most. This allowed safe passage for the initiates who carried and studied them. Prior to the creation of the cards, the wisdom they carried had to be taught by word of mouth from teacher to student. The creation of the cards allowed for greater mobility of this sacred information. To be sure, that sacred transmission is still being moved by word of mouth, but many more are able to receive it. In addition to being the hero's journey, the tarot is one of the greatest love stories ever told. Why is that? It's the story of our Creator, our very breath of life, and its limitless love for its creation, us. It's a story that teaches each of us how to truly love and thereby reap all of the benefits that creation has to offer. It's a story about understanding and wisdom and living day to day in peace and harmony. It's not a philosophy. It must be lived to be fully realized. So let's back up a little bit. Why were the cards created in the first place? During the 4th century, there was a vast library in Alexandria, Egypt. It contained over 800,000 scrolls. Sadly, it was burned to the ground. This library held an enormous history of mankind up to that time. What was even more notable was that the treasure the library held was available for research to both men and women. The story goes that because of this crisis, the members of the literary, mystical, and scientific communities from as far away as the Middle East, China, and India gathered to produce a solution to this unbelievable loss. They met in Morocco and created the tarot deck of cards. Again, the story goes that once they'd decided on a deck of cards, they then had to determine what information would go on the cards. Also, they needed to figure out how the information would be displayed. They decided to make the cards into a game. People love games. They created the initiation keys as a picture book of 22 cards, plus 4 sets of numbered cards. Each set of numbered cards, called suits, had 14 cards. These are the 4 suits of hearts, clubs, diamonds, and spades of our current era. They totaled 56 cards. So the mysteries were hidden in plain sight. Only the initiate would understand what the keys meant. This was a brilliant idea. And what was the primary secret doctrine hidden in the cards? It's that the Creator and its creation are one. That God and the inner self of mankind are one. That our freedom is seeing with the eyes of our inner self, and that we must live through our heart. There is a story that there were 4 attempts made to help mankind return to paradise and once again enter a direct experience of God. The Kabbalah was the map or guidebook created for this purpose. God first gave the Kabbalah to the angels before the world was created. He thought he had this covered. When Adam and Eve left the Garden of Eden, an angel gave the Kabbalah to the couple so that they could find their way back home. I want to say good luck with that. They got a little caught up in the world and lost it. So God then gave it to Abraham as part of his covenant with him. Mankind lost track of it, couldn't find it anywhere. On the 4th try, God gave it to Moses. Yay! Moses went up the mountain to meet God. When he returned down the mountain, he was carrying the 10 Commandments and the Kabbalah. He shared the Kabbalah with his priests. He wrote it down and then hid it. It was finally found in medieval times. You may have noticed at some point, if you've ever studied the Kabbalah, that the term is spelled 3 different ways. Why is that? Kabbalah is the way it is spelled in the Hebrew tradition. In the Christian 15th century Renaissance, it is spelled Kabbalah. This is for those interested in Hermetic, Egyptian, and Greek philosophy. It is spelled Qabbalah in the mystical Western tradition of the Rosicrucians, Knights Templar, Freemasons, and alchemists. Hebrew letters are used on the cards because they are also numbers, and each letter is a word or idea. Learning this can be a little overwhelming, especially if you don't speak Hebrew. I created several Excel spreadsheets to make it easier for me to see many of the cross-references that we'll cover on the cards. And no, I don't speak Hebrew. The foundation of the Kabbalah is called the Tree of Life. This is a diagram of that beautiful tree. It's in the form of a diagram that creates a complex filing system. This allows the human mind to be able to grasp what's going on around it. As mankind can grasp the nature of life and how it works, he then grows closer and closer to the nature of his relationship with his Creator. The 10 balls or circles on this diagram are called emanations of light. They are considered the 10 aspects of God's personality. Yes, God has a personality. He definitely has a sense of humor. There are a total of 33 paths of wisdom on the tree. There are 22 paths which run between each one of these 10 circles. They are called paths of wisdom or paths of intelligence. And we're not talking intellect here. We're talking intelligence and wisdom. The circles are numbered 1 to 10, and they represent the macrocosm. The 22 paths that connect all the circles are numbered 11 to 32. These 22 paths are assigned to the major arcana tarot cards. The picture cards, they represent the microcosm. There are 3 columns in the diagram. The left column is the feminine side, understanding, severity, splendor. The right side is the masculine side, wisdom, mercy, victory. The center is called the middle path, the path of the priesthood, the kingdom, which is earth, the foundation, beauty, and the crown. You may notice that it is the shortest path. This is just an introduction. We will get into more detail as we move along and study the entire tree of life. Just one more item. Note that the tree is upside down. The roots are at the top, where the crown is. So here we have, in a nutshell, the game plan for getting back to God, also known as the return. This is the hero's journey. These are the various components that we will go through on the path of return. The tarot keys help us to understand the work that lies before us, the hurdles that we must overcome, and the recognition we must acquire of who we really are. This is a path of remembering ourselves and our great inheritance waiting for us even now. This is a beautiful picture. In Paul Foster Case's book, The Tarot, A Key to the Wisdom of the Ages, he created this tarot tableau and assigned the 22 letters of the Hebrew alphabet to the cards. This is one of many ways you may arrange the tarot keys. The importance of this combination is that the keys are in numeric order from 0 to 21. We will be reading the keys as you would a storybook. Think of each key as a chapter in the book. This arrangement allows you to get a basic grasp of the keys. Paul Foster Case called the first row principles, or the 7 dominant mental states. The second row typifies agencies of those principles. The bottom row represents results from the expression of the principles of the upper row through the agencies of the middle row. Paul Foster Case also gave each of the 7 columns an attribute. Going from left to right, the first column represents bondage, the second awakening, the third column is revelation, the fourth column is organization, the fifth column regeneration, the sixth realization, and the final 7th column is cosmic consciousness. That sounds like a good place to head for. As I told you before, this book is all about you. There are only 3 characters in this storybook. You could call them 3 states of mind or awareness. All 3 characters are found within you. The first character is the superconscious mind. This character is both male and female, represents perfect balance and union with God. The second character is the self-conscious mind. It is masculine. The third character is the subconscious mind. It is feminine. As we travel through the deck of cards, we will learn how these 3 characters interact and work with one another. They represent the law of the triangle in action. So what is the law of the triangle? Why is this so important? The triangle is considered a perfect figure. The idea of perfection implies a sense of completion. The triangle describes spirit in three modes of expression, inseparable. It has been used in many religions. In Egypt, the triangle was expressed as the holy family of Osiris, the father, of Isis, the mother, and Horus, the son. In Hindu, it was used to describe Brahma, the creator, Vishnu, the preserver, and Shiva, the destroyer. In Christianity, the triangle is used to describe the Father, the Creator, the Son, the Christ, or Christos, and the Holy Spirit, Mother Creation. The tarot story is about how these three characters impact our lives. So let's begin our journey and get to know them. As we go over each of the keys, I will introduce you to how the planets and the zodiac signs affect this story. The specific colors on the cards and the letters all have meaning. So we're coming to the end of this little introduction. If you have any questions or comments, I would love to hear them. You are also welcome to visit my website called gates-of-light.com. Traveling through the tarot. Thank you for listening. I hope you enjoy my series.